following is a script for a long-form YouTube documentary video essay, approximately 40 minutes in length. A weapon so audacious, so utterly unapologetic in its design, it was effectively banished from civilian hands, not for its raw destructive power alone, but for a bizarre bureaucratic interpretation of its very essence. This isn't just a shotgun. It's a legal anomaly, a mechanical enigma, and a brutal testament to the complexities of firearms legislation. Today, we confront the Striker 12, the infamous street sweeper, a name whispered in hushed tones, synonymous with raw, unadulterated urban firepower, yet burdened by a lineage of mechanical flaws and the crushing weight of governmental decree. It exists in a unique purgatory, classified alongside weapons of war and grenade launchers, not for its inherent explosiveness, but because, according to the powers that be, it lacks a sporting purpose. This is the story of a shotgun that dared to be different, and in doing so, invited the full, unyielding wrath of the law, becoming an icon of controversy and a symbol of misunderstood might. From the moment its distinctive silhouette first emerged from the shadows of late 20th century South Africa, the Striker 12 screamed a singular, uncompromising message: control. It was designed not for the hunter's field or the target range, but for the unforgiving concrete canyons of urban unrest and close-quarters security. The year was 1980. The world was a tense, falling place. South Africa, in particular, was grappling with internal strife, a nation in the throes of apartheid, facing escalating civil unrest and the ever-present threat of insurgency. This was the crucible in which firearms designer Hilton Walker conceived the Striker 12, a weapon born of necessity and shaped by the brutal realities of riot control and perimeter defense. Walker's vision was ambitious, a high-capacity, rapid-fire shotgun that could deliver overwhelming force in a compact, manageable package. At the time, conventional pump-action shotguns, while potent, were slow to reload and limited in capacity. Semi-automatic shotguns existed, but often lacked the robust reliability and sheer intimidating presence required for riot situations. Walker looked to a different inspiration, the revolver. But not just any revolver. He envisioned a colossal, 12-gauge behemoth that cycled its formidable payload with a relentless, almost mechanical precision. The result was a gas-operated revolving cylinder shotgun capable of holding up to 12 12-gauge rounds. Its iconic, almost futuristic profile, dominated by the massive rotary cylinder and distinctive folding stock, set it apart immediately. This was not a weapon for subtle engagement. It was a statement, a declaration of intent to sweep away any opposition with a torrent of lead. It was a machine built for an era of confrontation, an industrial-age answer to an urban problem, destined to leave an indelible mark on both the battlefield and the legal landscape. To truly understand the Striker 12, one must delve into the intricate and, at times, infuriating labyrinth of its mechanical soul. At its heart lies a massive 12-round rotary cylinder, reminiscent of an oversized revolver. But unlike a traditional double-action revolver, which advances the cylinder as the trigger is pulled, the Striker 12 employs a unique, spring-driven mechanism. Beneath the barrel, prominently visible, is a large winding gear. This isn't merely for show, it's the kinetic engine of the Striker. The operator must manually wind this gear, compressing a powerful spring that provides the necessary tension to rotate the cylinder after each shot. Pulling the trigger releases the hammer, striking the primer and igniting the charge. The gases from the fired shell are then cleverly siphoned off, pushing a piston that, in turn, releases the cylinder lock and allows the pre-tensioned spring to advance the cylinder to the next chamber. It's an ingenious, albeit somewhat over-engineered, solution to achieve semi-automatic firing with a revolving cylinder. This winding mechanism, while innovative, introduces a critical dependency. Should the spring tension diminish from repeated firing, the
Damn,
cylinder will
cylinder's
eventually
jammed.
fail to rotate,
Go Drake, you
leaving the
piece of
shooter with
junk.
a dead gun. The manual winding process itself, while not overly strenuous, is an additional step not found in conventional semi-automatic shotguns, adding a layer of complexity to its field use. It's a testament to Walker's ambition, but also a harbinger of the weapon's inherent limitations. And then there is the trigger. Oh, the infamous trigger. It is a feature, or rather a profound flaw, that has become legendary among those who have dared to wield the Striker 12. Descriptions range from abysmal to dog shit, and for good reason. The trigger pull is notoriously heavy, often requiring an exertive, multi-stage press that can easily lead to a shooter's frustration, and more dangerously, an inability to fire the weapon reliably. To understand this, one must consider the entire firing sequence. The initial part of the pull begins to disengage the cylinder lock and allows the internal mechanism to prepare for rotation. Then, a distinct increase in resistance occurs as the cylinder begins to advance to the next chamber, a process facilitated by the pre-wound spring, but still requiring a certain mechanical dance within the trigger group. Finally, and with even greater force, the trigger must be pulled through a very long and incredibly stiff final stage to release the hammer and send the firing pin forward. The cumulative effect is a trigger that feels less like a precision instrument and more like a stubborn, unyielding lever. Many novice and even experienced shooters unknowingly stop at the point where the cylinder has rotated, but before the hammer has actually fallen, believing they have completed the trigger pull. This leads to a terrifying phenomenon in a combat situation: a click instead of a bang, a round advanced but unfired, rendering the weapon momentarily inert. This false trigger pull is a critical design oversight, undermining the very rapid-fire advantage the Striker 12 was designed to provide. In a high-stress scenario where every millisecond and every shot counts, such an unreliable trigger is not just an inconvenience, it's a potentially fatal flaw. It demands a level of deliberate, almost wrestling-like engagement that is antithetical to rapid, accurate shooting. Reloading the Striker 12 is another exercise in deliberate, almost ritualistic patience. Once the 12 rounds have been expended, the shooter must manually open a small loading gate on the side of the cylinder. Then, employing a separate ejector rod, reminiscent of an old-school single-action revolver, each spent shell casing must be individually pushed out of its chamber. This process is slow, cumbersome, and far removed from the rapid magazine changes of contemporary semi-automatic firearms. Unlike most shotguns that eject spent shells automatically, the Striker 12 retains them within the cylinder, a unique feature that might appeal to reloaders who want to collect their brass, but offers no practical advantage in a tactical scenario where speed is paramount. The empty chambers must then be reloaded one by one, the gate closed, and the cylinder rewound, before the Striker 12 is ready to deliver another torrent of lead. This entire sequence is antithetical to the very concept of rapid, sustained firepower that the weapon ostensibly represents, further cementing its reputation as a mechanically peculiar, if not outright flawed design. Adding to its distinctive profile and controversial allure is the Striker 12's iconic folding stock. Engineered for compactness and maneuverability, the stock hinges forward, locking into a recess above the receiver, transforming the already squat shotgun into an even more formidable and concealable package. This feature was undoubtedly designed with urban combat and vehicle deployment in mind, allowing the weapon to be easily stored or carried in confined spaces before being rapidly deployed. When folded, the Striker 12 truly earns its street sweeper moniker, presenting a menacing, almost sci-fi aesthetic that resonated deeply with pop culture. However, while enhancing portability, the folding stock compromises ergonomics when deployed. The relatively short length of pull and the minimalist design make for a less stable shooting platform compared to a fixed stock, particularly when managing the formidable recoil of 12-gauge ammunition. This trade-off between compactness and practical shooting comfort highlights the Striker 12's design philosophy, prioritize form and a specific tactical niche, even if it introduces ergonomic challenges for the shooter. Despite its mechanical eccentricities and ergonomic compromises, the Striker 12's design aimed for a unique niche: overwhelming firepower for close quarters engagements. Its rotating cylinder, while cumbersome to reload and plagued by a heavy trigger, did offer a higher capacity than most traditional shotguns of its era, allowing for sustained suppression in riot control scenarios, or formidable stopping power against multiple threats. The ability to unleash a dozen rounds of buckshot or slugs in rapid succession was on paper a game changer. It was envisioned as the ultimate tool for security forces to clear buildings, control crowds, and neutralize threats with a devastating wide area impact. The very name, Street Sweeper, conjured images of its intended role: to effectively sweep an area clean of opposition, overwhelming targets with a dense pattern of projectiles. This inherent design goal, focused squarely on aggressive, high-impact applications rather than precision or traditional sporting endeavors, would ultimately become both its defining characteristic and its legal undoing. The Striker 12's journey from a tactical innovation to a legal pariah began almost as soon as it stepped beyond the borders of South Africa. In the United States, a nation obsessed with the Second Amendment, yet constantly grappling with the implications of firearm violence, the Striker 12 landed squarely in the crosshairs of a brewing political storm. It wasn't just its menacing appearance or its high capacity that drew scrutiny. It was a nebulous yet incredibly powerful legal concept: the Sporting Purpose Clause. Under the National Firearms Act, NFA, of 1934, certain firearms were classified as destructive devices, DDs. Originally intended to regulate true engines of war, artillery, bombs, landmines, the DD classification slowly expanded. For conventional firearms, a weapon could be deemed a DD if its bore diameter exceeded a certain threshold, typically 0.9, 50 inches, which 12-gauge shotguns do, and if the Secretary of the Treasury, later the Attorney General, via the ATF, determined it had no sporting purpose. This seemingly innocuous phrase became the ultimate bureaucratic cudgel. The political climate of the late 1980s and early 1990s was ripe for such interpretations. Concerns about rising crime, drug violence, and the proliferation of assault weapons created a moral panic that empowered lawmakers to seek legislative solutions. The Striker 12, with its intimidating name, its military-style aesthetics, and its clear design intent for riot control rather than hunting or sport shooting, was an easy target. In 1989, under the administration of President George H.W. Bush, a series of import bans were enacted targeting specific firearms deemed not suitable for sporting purposes. The Striker 12, already dubbed the Street Sweeper by the media, was swept up in this legislation. The ATF concluded that its high capacity, revolving cylinder, and folding stock, combined with its marketing and intended use, rendered it unequivocally without sporting purpose. This seemingly arbitrary ruling had profound consequences. Instantly, the Striker 12 was reclassified as a destructive device, elevating it to the same legal category as a 40mm grenade launcher, a 20mm anti-tank rifle, or an improvised explosive device. For civilian ownership, this meant navigating the arduous and expensive NFA registration process. Prospective owners would have to pay a $200 tax stamp, a fee established in 1934 and never indexed for inflation, making it a greater barrier then than now. Submit to extensive background checks, undergo lengthy waiting periods, often stretching many months, and deal with complicated paperwork, usually requiring the formation of an NFA trust. The gun itself, if an already imported one could be found, commanded exorbitant prices due to its scarcity and newfound legal mystique. For most ordinary citizens, owning a Striker 12 became an almost insurmountable legal and financial burden. The absurdity of this classification is starkly highlighted when compared to other, demonstrably more effective and higher capacity shotguns. Consider the Saiga 12, a Russian-made Kalashnikov-pattern semi-automatic shotgun. The Saiga 12 can accept large-capacity detachable box magazines or even drum magazines, often holding 10, 20, or even 30 rounds of 12-gauge ammunition. It boasts far superior ergonomics, a more conventional and reliable operating system, and often a much smoother trigger pull. Yet, under the same American gun laws, a Saiga 12 is generally treated as a standard shotgun, subject only to conventional firearm regulations. It can be purchased over the counter where legal, without the need for an NFA stamp, extensive waiting periods, or the destructive device designation. This glaring inconsistency reveals the deeply subjective and often politically motivated nature of firearm classification. The Striker 12, with its slow, cumbersome reload, its infamous trigger, and its less efficient revolving cylinder, was deemed a destructive device for lacking the sporting purpose. Meanwhile, the Saiga 12, a more potent, more user-friendly, and arguably more militarily effective shotgun, was, and still largely is, considered just a regular firearm. The difference lies not in actual destructive capability or even raw capacity, but in aesthetics, marketing, and the political climate at the time of its implementation. The Street Sweeper moniker, its South African origin, and its appearance as a futuristic riot gun likely sealed its fate, condemning it to a legal purgatory from which it has never truly escaped. It became a powerful symbol of the NFA's archaic regulations and the often nonsensical interpretations that govern America's complex relationship with firearms. The very legal framework designed to control weapons of extraordinary destructive power paradoxically ensnared a mechanically flawed shotgun, creating a legend born of bureaucratic fiat rather than battlefield prowess. Despite its mechanical quirks and legal entanglements, the Striker 12, or Street Sweeper, undeniably carved out a significant niche in popular culture. Its unique, almost alien silhouette, dominated by the massive rotary cylinder and folding stock, lent itself perfectly to the silver screen and the burgeoning world of video games. From the gritty urban landscapes of action films to the apocalyptic battlefields of first-person shooters, the Street Sweeper became a visual shorthand for raw, indiscriminate power. It featured prominently in titles like the Grand Theft Auto series, Call of Duty, and Resident Evil, often depicted as a devastating close-quarters weapon capable of clearing rooms with terrifying efficiency. This digital portrayal, while often exaggerating its effectiveness and omitting its mechanical flaws, cemented its status as an iconic, almost mythical firearm. This cultural ubiquity stands in stark contrast to its limited real-world military or police adoption. While initially designed for riot control and security forces, its operational shortcomings, the abysmal trigger, the slow reload, the sheer weight, meant it never saw widespread use by conventional armed forces or law enforcement agencies. Its practical application in the field was largely overshadowed by its dramatic visual impact. The very name, Street Sweeper, whether officially sanctioned or a media invention, became a powerful and enduring moniker, perfectly encapsulating its intended, if not always achieved, role as an instrument of urban dominance. This cultural resonance, perhaps more than any battlefield performance, ensured its enduring legacy. It became a gun that people knew, even if they knew nothing about firearms, simply because of its unmistakable appearance and its menacing reputation. The legacy of the Striker 12 is a complex tapestry woven with threads of innovation, frustration, and legal absurdity. On one hand, it stands as a testament to bold, unconventional design. Hilton Walker's vision for a high-capacity, rapid-fire shotgun was revolutionary, pushing the boundaries of what a shotgun could be. It demonstrated the potential for revolving cylinder designs in a powerful gauge, inspiring later, more refined iterations and influencing the broader conversation around combat shotgun development. The sheer audacity of its engineering, even with its inherent flaws, makes it a fascinating object of study for firearms enthusiasts and designers alike. Yet, on the other hand, The Striker 12 remains a stark reminder that innovation does not always equate to practical superiority. Its mechanical shortcomings, particularly the infamous trigger and the laborious reloading process, severely hampered its effectiveness in real-world scenarios. It was a weapon designed for rapid, overwhelming force, yet ironically burdened by mechanisms that undermined both speed and reliability. It was a gun that looked terrifyingly effective, but often proved frustratingly difficult to operate with true proficiency. This dichotomy between its intimidating appearance and its operational reality is a central part of its story. Furthermore, the Striker 12's journey through the American legal system serves as a powerful, if not infuriating, case study in firearms legislation. Its classification as a destructive device based on subjective interpretations of sporting purpose highlights the often arbitrary nature of gun control policies. It exposed the inconsistencies in regulatory frameworks, where an aesthetically military-looking but mechanically flawed weapon could be deemed more dangerous than a demonstrably more efficient and higher capacity counterpart. The street sweeper became a symbol not just of raw power, but of bureaucratic overreach and the enduring, often illogical, battle over firearms rights and restrictions. Ultimately, the Striker 12 is more than just a gun. It is a cultural icon, a mechanical paradox, and a legal enigma. It is a firearm that simultaneously embodies the best and worst aspects of firearms design and regulation. It teaches us about the ingenuity of designers, the challenges of practical application, and the profound impact of political decisions on the availability and perception of weapons. It is a shotgun that was so cool it's kind of illegal, not because of what it could actually do, but because of what it represented to those who saw it from afar. It exists in the firearms pantheon as a legend, not for its widespread adoption or battlefield dominance, but for its sheer, undeniable uniqueness, its contentious history, and the questions it continues to provoke about power, fear, and the enduring human fascination with instruments of force. The Striker 12 stands as a monument to its own contradictions. It is a shotgun that aspired to redefine close-quarters combat, but stumbled over its own complexity. It sought to be a tool of order, but became a symbol of controversy. It wanted to be a weapon of terrifying efficiency, but settled for being a fascinating, flawed legend. Perhaps its true legacy lies not in its ability to sweep streets clean of opposition, but in its unwavering capacity to sweep aside our preconceived notions of what a firearm can be, and what it truly means to be deemed too dangerous by the letter of the law. It forces us to ask, in the grand theater of arms and legislation, what truly defines a weapon, and who ultimately holds the power to shape its destiny?